Okay, so I know as I figured for a first of the year video, a good one since I already went over my previous bullet journals, is kind of different, not like alternatives, I guess you could say, that try and get at the same thing. So, of course, I went over the basic bullet journal. This is the empty one. I haven't, as of recording this, 2024 hasn't started yet. And so I haven't filled this one in at all. So this gives me an opportunity to show you kind of like, again, quickly go over the layout of what we're looking at and kind of how others that have picked up on the bullet journaling thing have gone through and done things to kind of copy what is done here. So of course you've got the key right here, you've got the front page where you put your name and info and stuff, and of course you've got your key stuff, kind of like your guidelines, some things to help you split things out. So like right here you've got the split sections to show you how to do it, your numbered grids and things like that. So this is the layout of every basic page that it'll show you, and then gives you different keys that way, and then like the Venn diagram that you see from the bullet journaling method. You've got your key, your intentions, and these are elements that are going to be pretty standard with a normal bullet journal, or at least the officially licensed one. Then you've got your index, which goes for 2 spreads. Then you've got your future log that goes for 2 spreads. And then you start into like your regular spreads, and it goes like that. So you've got the basic dot grid, and then if we go to the inside here, we've got our thirds and half marks, and we've got the same at the bottom here. But for the most part, after you get past the opening stuff, which you could really turn into just about anything and scratch that out, you're pretty much at a from zero, like do whatever you want with it page setup. And then of course you've got the sticker page and the spine label that you can put on it as well. You've got your different stickers and like dates and months and stuff. And then the quick guide, which I've got, this is what, the third one I have now. So now I've got 2 extras that if I really wanted to hand one of these out to someone, I could, just because I've picked up like a number of them already. So goes over setting things up, and then just doing things and practice of it. This is just kind of goes over the mechanics and less about the philosophy behind it, which you can find at these resources here. So yeah, I think, yeah, here's actually the philosophy behind it, and then the mechanics of it. So you get like one little page that explains like quickly, oh, here's the philosophy, here's some of the mechanics, and now like putting these mechanics into practice. And yeah, so we can put that back in the pocket here. So this is the gold standard that most other people are trying to copy or add a new spin on in order to say that they did their own thing without directly copying it. And I've looked around at different stores to try and find various different notebooks, and I've got like a whole collection of notebooks or journals that I've picked up from all over the place that is going to take much longer than even 1 or 2 videos can cover. But these are the ones that are expressly like bullet journal, or bulleting journal, in essence, stuff. So this pocket one will come back up later on, but we'll actually save that one for later. So these 2 are ones that are bulleting journals in the front. This one I picked up at Smith's, kind of like the big supermarket. Again, it's got the dot grid, but it's got calendar stuff at the top. So Smith's is kind of our equivalent here of whether it be Kroger, King Super, or Ralph's, depending on where you're at in the US. So they've kind of got this. It is a much like wider dot grid than many of the others that I've picked up have. But this really like stuck out to me. And this was actually the second bulleting journal that I picked up from a store as I was looking around. But yeah, this seems to be a common element. But you can see that it labels itself as a dot grid bulleting journal. It's got like all the contact info if you really want to. And notice it like is labeled plans on the cover. It is like this faux leather. So it's a halfway soft cover, hard cover it's got going on. There is no index whatsoever. But they do have the calendar for 2022, 2023, and 2024. So this calendar will work for next year, but after that, they're going to have to do a new one, sadly. Maybe. So here's a symbol key, and you can see that for the most part, they quite lift up, like, and change up some of the symbologies to change up what most bullet journaling is going to do. You've got your task, and then the cross-through task. Then you've got the migrated task, which is the side arrow, which they do more arrow than in the bullet journaling method shows. A scheduled event, of course, is the open circle. The note, which is really weird, because like you do that not rather than a basic dash, and then so on and so forth. A lot of these follow the same principle. And then, of course, you've got an example here that you would see otherwise. So it's got the day, the month, and then the date itself. Which, I mean, I can appreciate, being as, for the most part, you're probably going to be confining this to a single year. Because I think, what was it? The max number of pages in this was 240, I think, when I picked it up. Yeah. And that's the very last page right there. So if you use less than 240 pages, then that's fine. But I think I've shown a track record as I've developed my methodology that I take up more than 240 pages. And with as big as this dot grid is, it's going to be even more with the way that I do things and spread things out. So this one, what was it? It was less than $10, I think, but it's like you can kind of see the cheapness of it. But I mean, if you don't do that much in it, if you can like stand to put something in a pocket notebook and have that last longer than a year, like some of the methods that I've seen around on YouTube, then you'll be fine with it. You can cover 2 years with it, and that's where things are going to get weird. Now, this one was the interesting one, because this one is from Staples. If we turn to the back somewhere. Yeah, I found this one at Staples. So we've got more contact info and emergency contact, and then here's the example page that they show for it. So they use a business meeting in this case, rather than over here where they used, what was it? Come on. It looked like they were using gaming as an example. Yeah. So you've got the game assignments and so on. So for birthday party example. So Staples, of course, being a more business-oriented company, it makes sense. And then you can put together your own symbol index. But and they've got some other info in here for like time zone maps, conversion charts, and you can see they've got a lot of the same stuff going on with like the month and the date. It'll be easier to see over here. You can add other info here in this bracket there. They've got much of the same like spacing as the Kroger or Smith's one, and you still have to do your own page numbers. They've got the page number dot right there. But they've got a nice handy bookmark here, ruler, and then you've got your key stuff that you can use to trace out here. So if you're one of those more creative types, that can be helpful. Or if you feel like you need a straight edge, you've got that option. It comes with it. But I've never really used a straight edge. You can see from like my previous one that a lot of my lines are vaguely follow the dot grid, but aren't perfect. Then you've got your important notes. There is no room for an index in here, which is the other one lacked as well. But yeah, a lot of the same features. Oh, they do all have like the ribbon bookmarks too. So this one has what? Yep, 3 of them. And then, see, look, that Staples red colored strap. And then that one has 3 as well on top of it. Okay, so if you're one of those people that are more compact, then this one might work for you. So if we open it up, it's just a basic dot grid. The dots are a little bit bigger than I would normally like, but again, cheap book. So can't complain too much. It fits in your pocket. It is hardcover, so it doesn't really bend at all. But you can see that there is nothing at all. It's just dot grid paper, and that's it. So I've fallen in love with dot grid because of bullet journaling, and so if I come across a lined notebook for the most part, I'm like, really? I kind of want dot grid, or at the most a square grid. Now, I've kept this label with it for a simple reason. Because on the label they talk about journaling. And you've got the index, the future log, the monthly log, and the daily log. And if you look at the symbols that they use, many of them are somewhat similar to the bullet journaling method. You've got your bullets, you've got a task bullet, an event bullet, and so on, reminders. There aren't really any notes per se in here, but it's interesting that they are journaling, and they're basically stealing that from the bullet journaling method, per se, because we all rob and duplicate in this world, and yeah. So this one really doesn't have much to it, but it has, again, a key to give you an example. But I think most people that are using it for this reason are already going to be aware of the bullet journal method keys and are going to use that by default. These guys are just taking advantage of, oh, this one will fit in your pocket and you can take this one with you wherever you go rather than carrying around an A5 bullet journal. But yeah, so those are like 3 of them that market as bullet journals directly, or bulleting journals, basically to-do lists, task planners, and things like that to help you stay organized. And they've got their own keys with it and things like that. But I think for the most part, the bullet journal key that you find from Carol Ryder, yeah, I think, yeah. I just heard his name like yesterday, and I can't remember for the life of me. Anyway, yeah. I think most people are going to be familiar with it for the most part, and these, in my eyes, would basically be supplements to it. At least this one would definitely be a supplement to it for like a catch-all. These ones may be for other more specific applications, like for business or work in essence, rather than having all your personal catch-all and your work catch-all all together. You could have a work catch-all that stays with you at work at a desk, and then anything personal can go into something smaller to transition on later somewhere else. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description Discord Gilded and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.